warm regards to everybody. I'm Ganesh Regar, Principal in National Institute of Empowerment of Persons with Intellectual Disability. I would like to talk about intellectual disability. Intellectual disability, when we say disability characterized by significant limitation both in intellectual functioning and in adaptive behavior, which covers many everyday social practical skills. This disability originates before the age of 18 years. So here are the three important points we have to look into that. One is limitation in intellectual functioning. When we say intellectual functioning, see, we have in our society, in our nation, or in our throughout world, there are different people are in different types. In the height, in their body structure, in their way of activities. Similarly, our physical differences are as it is, our intelligence, their memory, our learning, our reasoning, this also have a lot of variations. In this variation differs from one may do activity whatever is in a possible way, in the best possible, faster and speedy in a correct way. That is called his intelligence. Another person may do it in a slower manner. He may be doing it in a not able to do it, or he may not able to perform the activity which is accepted or expected to do in time and place, which is not possible to him to do because of he doesn't have that type of memory, that type of learning or something like that. That is the intellectual functioning ability we call, or it's called mental age or mental capacity. Similarly, adaptive behavior. In the society, there are different behavior are expected to do, or you are supposed to behave or act as per the some social norms or social needs and according to the time, age and gender. But unfortunately, some of the people not able to perform some of the expected or desired behavior. That also hinders because of the intelligence low level or intelligence deficiencies. In addition to that, these they will also face problem in the everyday social and practical skills. That means when we have a social interaction, social activities like you have to go to bank, you have to go to post office, you have to go to market, you have to go to a in bus, you have to go in a train. These social related activities, some go to marriage, go to somebody's functions. There also we have problem. Similarly, practical skills. Practical skills is your own personal skills, your own dressing, your own going to the office or going to the buying something or going to somewhere to do some other activities. That is also not happening as expected, which is a adaptive day-to-day behavior which is expected to happen. It's not happening. So this disability originates before the age of 18 years. If you look into that, this intellectual functioning, it's a general mental capacity. It's a learning, it's a reasoning and problem solving. As I earlier said, all the persons have a different abilities to do different things. Each individual we have, like in our hand there are 5 fingers. Each finger is different by its own way. Its structure, its functioning, its responsibilities, its authorities, everything is different in its own way. Similarly, in the person's intelligence also, each individual has a differences. But that differences, most of the time, we are as a people say that there is a normal intelligence or something called so many people have a similar level of functioning, similar kind of functioning. Maybe have minute difference, but the range of differences are changes. Range. That means some people have a very lowest ability to do the things. Those people with the lowest abilities, when we measure their mental age, when they see that their really chronological age, there will be huge differences. We expected that this particular age, this much of ability or this much of performance supposed to happen. But unfortunately, with some people doesn't happen as we are expected. So that is will be measured by a intelligence quotient. With the intelligence quotient, where there is a intelligence quotient is come below 70, then we say it is called IQ is less than 70. That represent interaction functioning of intellectual disability. So this particular issue make the person to call as a intellectual disability. This basically happens in the some of the categories or some of the other correlated or similar things happen in the some of the symptoms. Like for example, Down syndrome. Then we have a syndrome called Fragile X syndrome. Then we also have a Sebaceous Roma tuberous sclerosis. Similarly, we have a cardiofacial syndrome. There are so many syndromes such as Lange syndrome. There are a lot of syndromes which also have other characteristics. Each these syndromes with a different categories with a different characteristics are being exhibited. Their physical features also different from the others. We call it as a general population, common population. Their persons with these intellectual disabilities have these syndromes will also have the physical features are different. For example, if you go back to the Down syndrome, you can see in the Down syndrome the ears are little low and the nose is a little down and the eyes are little backward. This is one of the syndrome you can see. Similarly, if you see Fragile syndrome, there's again the eyes having little bit deeper and the other part of the features, like for example, the head is very always a longer facial expression. Similarly, each syndrome has its own things. This makes the another issue is that all intellectual disability, most of their features are different from the other common people, and in addition to that, they also exhibit some of the features which is a easily identifiable, which is really in their day-to-day behavior. We can see one is they are slow to the reactions of the which we are expecting that anything. For example, somebody comes and asks, "What is your name?" Immediately we will say our name. But persons with intellectual disability may not able to react immediately. They may take little more time than somebody like their father or mother or brother say, "Tell your name, tell your name." Then only they may respond. Similarly, they have a absence of clarity, inability to learn fast, inability to understand quickly, inability to decide, lack of concentration, short temper, inability to remember, lack of coordination, delay in development. These are the few features. Most of the time it is common with most of the intellectual disability. Maybe there is a variation within each activity. Somebody has something slow in reaction, but the clarity is little better compared to other child. And similarly, inability to learn, that again goes in a different way. We'll just go into the each one how these features with the intellectual disability. Slow reaction. When we say slow reaction, as I said, see, when we call a name or you ask them to come here, they may not come. They just stand and look at us. So they may not understand. So we have to go. I ask to come. I have to move. This response is not there. Response slowly what others say or what happens to in their surrounding. They will not respond. For example, child is standing in the road. There may be so many vehicles are moving around, but child not able to move from one place to another place or going side to the pathway. This is not happening with the child. So this is another problem. They are not responding to the happening in surroundings. Sometimes they do not respond at all. They may just standing like that. This may happen. This is the slow reactions. When we say slow reaction, this may happen with any child with persons with the intellectual disability. Similarly, absence of clarity, cannot express clearly their thoughts, needs, feelings. For example, the boy want a pencil from the classroom. He's a 8 years or 10 years boy. He has to write. We asked him to write. He doesn't have a pencil. He want to ask. He is not able to ask, "I need a pencil, sir. I want a pencil from our friends. Sir, my friend, my brother, please give me a pencil. Please give me a pen." This type of small request or this type of things, they are not asked in their clarity. What to ask, how to ask, that type of words or that type of response, they are not able to put it in a clarity. The absence of clarity. They may not have clarity of what is they thinking about at this moment, what they are really has to do. That much of clarity is not there. And for example, they have to have a For example, they want to go to a school. They have to have a clarity. I have to dress up properly. I have to take my bag. I have to move to the bus, and I get into the bus. This clarity is not there in their thoughts, and also they have feeling. They don't know. They maybe sometimes suddenly started crying also, or suddenly starting asking something. They don't know exactly what is happening within them, what to ask in time and place. This is another absence of clarity we can see with the persons with intellectual disability. In addition to that, there is a inability to learn fast. That may be, for example, you are the persons with that 12 or 14 years. We are asking them to write a 1 to 10 numbers, or 1 to 10 objects to count. That also sometimes they may not able to do in time and in place. This again, individual to individual, there is a lot of differences will be there. Individual to individual, they may show different abilities, but within the intellectual disability, they are always have a slow in learning. They are always weak or maybe less ability to learn things fast. This is always happens in every person with intellectual disability. Their grasping power, their learning power, their memory is always lower than compared to the common people. So similarly, if you see inability to understand quickly, for example, if you ask a person with any intellectual disability, they may not understand the things what we are saying. For example, we show a material like a mobile phone or a pen or a something else. What is this? Please tell me immediately, or please tell me. They just look into that, or they may not look into that. They are not understanding what we are asking, why we are asking, what is that exactly we have to say. That clarity or that understanding they may not have. They will take time. After telling 2 or 3 times, they may be able to respond. Sometimes they may not respond also. This is the because of the inability to understand exactly what is the question is, what they hear, what they touch, what they smell, what they taste. That understanding is always a lesser or weaker, or it will be a slower in the persons with intellectual disability. It's also having inability to decide. For example, a lady or a girl of with intellectual disability coming on the way. There's a heavy rain. She has to decide that I have to go to the some shadow, but she's not understanding, or she's not able to decide where to go. She may be still standing in the middle of the road or middle of the street and just waiting for somebody to help her, or somebody to just to do something. Or if there is something like there is a vehicle is coming down the road, where to move, left side or right side, that decision she will not make, or she may be just going front of the road, or maybe going another side of the against to the vehicle. That may be happening. So because she's not yet decided, or she's not making the decision in time, in place. Similarly, even if you want to get some material, taking something like a glass of water, or taking something playing in the ground, to or something to do with some writing activity, reading. So they are not able to decide which activity here to do, when to do, and how it has to be done. That decision, and also to learning from that. That is the problem with the intellectual disability. You can see sometimes when you are given a bat, ball, things like that, they should go to ground and play with the bat and ball. They are not able to decide how to hold the bat and how to play with the ball. This has to be taught after teaching, after training. They will take time to learn this. They need a consistent, continuous, long time training to decide the things. It is not that happening naturally as the other common people or common other children. It is the slowness, it is a difficulty for them to decide things. Even if there is a something we have to take a very serious judgment issues or something problem solving, they have need to have a lot of training, lot of exposure, then only they are able to capable of learning it. Lack of concentration for child with the intellectual disability, or even sometimes adult with the intellectual disability also, it always happens that, for example, if you want to make them to learn 5 sentences in a one particular time, one particular period, or particular session, this is very difficult for them, because their concentration may not be stand back for such a long time, because it needs for 10 minutes or 15 minutes the concentration attention to do the things, which may not be there that much of long. They cannot have give a, that much of continuous attention to learn the things in time in this particular way. They need each and every of the things to learn in a very smaller steps in a minimum way, and they need consistent training for that. For example, if you want to teach their home address or their family address or their something like their own going from one place to another place, then you have to decide that activity into smaller steps. First thing is, for example, if you are teaching the home address, first you have to see what is the home number is. That itself takes maybe 5 days to 10 days to teach. Similarly, to understand, to go about further, then again they need a time for learning. That is the problem. They have lack of concentration. Concentration, for example, may be improved by giving a some of the activities in the good play, interested play, or we can enhance their concentration by having a good picture type of multimedia movies or something like a very attractive, colorful movement. By that, their concentration may be extended, but it is a very less compared to the other common people. So what I would like to say is, always persons with intellectual disability have a lack of concentration. They also have a sometimes show a lot of temper tantrum. The temper tantrum means the short temper. What happens is, see, they may be having a lot of feelings, or they may have some needs, or they may have some emotions to express, but they don't know how to do it. They are not able to express it properly. Suddenly they show this, whatever they get in their hand, they may throw, or they may be biting their thumb, or they may be biting their hand, they may be pulling their hairs, or they may be sometimes hit others or push others, because they don't know how to show their feelings, how to ask for their needs, how to show their emotions. That is the way they find it, that whatever they get into their head, they may do it in a different way. Then we always feel that they have a high temper tantrum. But high temper tantrum comes from the different reason behind it. It always happens with the intellectual disability. We call in our training and therapies, it's a behavioral problem. But most of the time, the behavior problems occurs because of they are not able to express their feeling in time. They are not able to tell their needs in proper way. They are not expressing. They are not able to show their emotion properly. They will showing a injuring themselves or sometimes others. Then we'll say that is a temper. They have a aggressive. They are a very attacking. Sometimes we also say that they are maladaptive behavior people. They are behavior problematic people. Short temper people. But short temper is happening due to difficulty in controlling their feelings, needs, and emotions, and itself sometimes injure themselves and others. Similarly, inability to remember. You have told a very small sentence of saying that, please go to other room, get me a two pencils from the drawer. They may not able to understand what I exactly told them, or otherwise you may be asking a simple thing: what type of dress you are wearing, what is the color of your dress. That is, they are not able to remember, see and understand and answer. Or otherwise, did you just ask, what did you eat in the morning? That also they may not able to answer. That may be they're not able to remember and tell. They may not able to remember the sentence. They may not able to see the totality of that sentence. So this problems happens because their memory, their remembrance is very low. Sometimes it makes lot of problem for them. Maybe, for example, if you see yesterday night, what is the play where you are sleeping with which place? They may not knowing their home, their outside, their inside. That also they are not able to remember. Or if you ask sometimes, maybe very simple thing. How many brothers you have, how many sisters and brothers? Of the 14 years or 15 years of adult with the intellectual disability, how many brother and sister? That also they are not able to count and tell us, because their memory is not that much clear how to keep the things in a proper sequential way. That is not happening with them. Because of that, they always show lack of memory, and because of that, their remembrance will be very comparatively less compared to other common people. Then lack of coordination. It might have been seen. Almost all persons with intellectual disability, their eye-hand coordination, they're touching something, holding something, they'll do in a very clumsy way. Why? Because, for example, if you ask them to take a 10 glasses, putting one into other, or something you carry with a little more things of moving here and there, they will have a lot of difficulties. Even, for example, very simple thing was taking a glass, drinking the water. The water is just drawing from their mouth, or something like they have a problem with the putting their buttons, shirt buttons, or their skirt buttons. That also they have, because of the hand coordination problem, their lack of coordination, they're not able to do it in time in proper way. This may happen even in eating, sucking the saliva from the mouth, and similarly chewing something, something to eat and swallow it. This also sometimes because of the lack of coordination of their muscles. It has always exhibited in most of the intellectual disability. They also, it is another important features in the intellectual disability. Whatever I said, 9 features. In addition to that, the important features you can see, almost all persons with intellectual disability delay in their developmental milestones or delay in developmental uh, uh, areas. For example, if you see, it may be in the physical area, it may be in the communication area, social area, and academic area, and personal area. These are all happening in development. For example, if you see the child, if you ask the child developmental history, so when your child is having a neck control or head control, head study, if the it's supposed to happen 3 to 4 months in normally in the common child in the normal way, it has to happen in the 3 to 4 months, maximum 5 months we can take. It's a range. The developmental normal sequence stage and range is 3 to 6 months is a neck control time. But child with the intellectual is sometimes it go beyond 6 months, sometimes 8 months. Okay, this may be the one area. Similarly, sometimes the social smiles or responding to the name, it may not happen even with the time. If we are commonly say that around social smile supposed to come 2.5 months to 3 months. 2 months is a common and 4 months is a maximum. So that also not happening. Similarly, so many activities in each area. If you look into that, that may be physical area, physical development, or language development, or intellectual, cognitive development, or emotional development, or social development. All this has the stages and ages. This is not happening as we are expecting, or we are seeing in the almost all common normal children or common with the all other children. For example, if you say 100 children, maybe 60 children performing in the same age and same stage and same level. But unfortunately, few of them who are having this difficulty of or intellectual disability, they are always showing a all this area sometimes delay, or sometimes maybe 1 or 2 areas delay, sometimes all the areas, sometimes at least in one area of this definitely delay in their early childhood or early age of their development. That means in the age of 1 year, 6 months, or 8 months, or 2 months, or whatever that time, whatever the in all areas, whatever the development, whatever the stages has to improve, that is not happening as expected as happening in the other children. So this is shows that there is a definitely delayed development in one or sometimes all areas. Most of the time it is in a more than 2 or 3 areas. It is definitely delay. This delay itself is told that this child has, or this child is going to be having some problem in future, and it is most of the time having intellectual disability. Now, the disability, when we say, we all know disability is a restriction or lack of ability that is basically resulting from an impairment to perform an activity in the manner or within the range considered normal for a human being. When we say this, we are expecting every individual child or any person in according to their age, we are expecting to perform some of the activity or some of the day-to-day functions. That is basically functional problem. When we say disability, it's an activity or a function or a something to do what you are supposed to do in some age and some particular time in particular place. That is not performing in expected or in a normal way. If it is totally delayed or it is not happening at all and it is not shown at all, then we call it as it is a disability. And this is basically resulting from an impairment. If due to an impairment, if the person is not able to perform, then we call disability. In the case of intellectual disability, due to something their neural or in a central nervous system problem or something in their physical central intact problem, so they are not able to perform the activities which we are expected that to happen. This intelligence is a global capacity of person dealing effectively with his or her environment. As Westlers in 1939, he said, intelligence is our global capacity. That means in the universal, in the our surrounding, what is the person's able to do in a effective way, in a proper environment requirement, within his own environment, in his own society, in his own community, the best way of dealing effectively in the outside society. That is called intelligence. That is again individual to individual, differences always there. But in the case of when we say intellectual disability, this is definitely very weaker or it's a deficiency. Then we are calling them as a intellectual disability. This intellectual disability has so many other important things to learn. Intellect Internationally more appropriate to call it as a intellectual disability, because earlier used to call it is mental retardation. In that again we have a different categories or different levels. All intellectual disability, when we say, they are all not at all same level or same standard or same performance things. Each have definitely there is a differences, but for our day-to-day programs and day-to-day training purposes, day-to-day their facilities, and to place them, we are again divided or grouped in a different levels. We have a mild intellectual disability, we have moderate intellectual disability, we have a severe intellectual disability, and we have also have a profound intellectual disability. When we say mild, it is the IQ between or intellectual quotient between 50 to 69. Below 70 is called below 70, and above 50 is a mild intellectual disability. Similarly, when we say moderate intellectual disability, that is 35 to 49, 35 IQ to 49 IQ is called moderate intellectual disability. Then we have a severe intellectual disability, that is 20 to 34. That IQ is called severe intellectual disability. The IQ level is 20 to 34. Then we have a profound intellectual disability, which is below than 19 or below 20 is a IQ is below 20 is a profound intellectual disability. Before going further, I just want to tell you as a general understanding. When we say IQ of this, then we have to count and measure and all. In a general, for all of us, basically, if you see in a general population, the child of 12 years or 14 years, we are expecting that in the 14 years, child has to pass a 6th standard or 7th standard, and also child has to have a 8th standard ability to go, and child also have to dress himself. So many mental related or physical related performances or activities are all expecting to happen. But one of the child which is having a born and the chronological age, the physical age is 12 or 14 years, but his performance, his mental abilities, day-to-day activities is still in a less than 2 years. Then we can think about that's a profound and intellectual disabled person. Again, IQ testing will be done by the psychologist, and it will be confirmed. There is no other reason to have a problem. It is because of intellectual disability, by be confirmed by the psychiatrist. But for general understanding, we ourselves can also think about, or we can assume that the profound intellectual disability means the person may be 14 or 15 years, but his mental ability or day-to-day activities abilities or the performance of day-to-day activities or seeing is showing all the performance in day-to-day life is a less than 2 years child or less than 3 years child. Then we can, or 1 year or 1.5 year child abilities with the day-to-day activities. The 14 years person or 14 years child or 14 years boy or girl is doing 1 or 2 years abilities, activities or performance, then we think about profoundly. Similarly, another boy or girl, another intellectual disabled child having a 14 or 15 years same age, but the performance or activities may be 2.5 years to 3 years or 4 years, and it's all the performance in mental abilities and other areas also is weaker than that. He may not respond to things in proper way of 12 or 14 years. He shows only 3 years abilities or 4 years abilities. That is the way activities he is doing. Then we may be saying that severe intellectual disability. Then we have a other child and the same 14 or 15 years of age. Another child has an ability of 5 to 6 years or less than 7 years, and he may be doing few activities in some time, few activities not in time. He may be not able to dress himself. He is not able to go to the school his own. These are the difficulties. As a 14-year child, we are expected to do these activities independently by himself, which he is not able to do, which is at the 4th year, 5th year age, he is supposed to start learning this. And 6 and 7 years, he has to exhibit and show that he is doing it. But even the 14 years, he can't do. Then we say we can expect or we can think that the child may get a certification of moderate intellectual disability. He may be called it as a moderate. We can group them in a moderate intellectual disability. Then another child of 14 or 15 years having a ability of or having a showing the capacity of 7 or 8 years, even though 14, 15 years, but he is not performing as we are expected to have a 14 years activities or memory or grasping or learning or showing some activities, reactions, doing some decision, making some judgment, taking some calculation, going to the shop, buying. That is 14 years boy, we are expected to do so many activities in that day. But this boy or this girl is doing only the 7 years or less than 7 years abilities or showing some level less than 7 years child abilities. Then we think that he may be having a mild intellectual disability. We can group them in a mild intellectual grouping, or he may get a certificate of that. Again, the certificate will not be provided by us. It will be provided by, or certificating and grouping them is the psychologist and psychiatrist. They are the persons are supposed to do that, and after that only we can exactly understand that this child has this level of abilities. And again, within that group, each individual child has its own unique problems or unique way of doing things, and each individual child, when we think about it, or person we think about it, we have to think a consistent training. As I'm saying, why I'm saying consistent training is that, you see, in the general population, in our own way, if you want to understand, to train the intellectual disabilities, the important thing is a person. You can think on similar example. I'll just quote it here. If you think that there are 5 person in a family, one person in the family is an adult man. He has been in the childhood itself. That adult man has been given a very good nutritious food, and every day good physical exercise, good taken into gym or maybe a wrestling place and all. He have been trained. He may be made to climb. He may be able to run and all. When he come to the adult age, he'll be a very good sportsman or very good wrestling man, or his physical body is very strong. Similarly, in the same family, the 5 persons, the one boy or one girl is never given a chance to go out, never given a good nutritious food, no attention for that child. Then that child cannot be a great sports person or cannot be a great activity person. Why I am saying this example is that if you compare, if the person is given continuous training, any person can improve to one level to another level, show a strength. When it comes to intellectual disability, even though they have a very lowest capacity of learning, lowest capacity of memory, lowest capacity of understanding, lowest capacity of reactions, lowest capacity of doing things, slow in doing things, but if you take any one particular activity which they like to do with a very simplified manner, consistent training in a regular manner, daily if you do the activities, that is possible to them to learn in a easy way, and they will be mastering that activity. For example, you want to make a boy of 12 years, in the age of 18, 20 years, he is supposed to be a good Xerox making person. Then if you start at 12 or 13 years training him how to put a paper, how to press the button, how to take a print and back copies. If you start training at 12 years of age, when he comes to 18 or 19 years, he may be master in xeroxing can happen, even though he's a very moderate or mild level of intellectual disability. Similarly, there are so many intellectual ones. Extremely sorry, there's some disturbance in between. See, this intellectual disability, when you look into that, in the total population, there may be, it's estimated 1 to 1.5 to 2% maybe we get a mild intellectual disability, around 0.5%. That means for around 1,000 people, we may get a 2, 3, 4 people of severe intellectual disability. Why we are saying that? In the total 100 intellectual disabilities, if you compare in the other way, it's again estimated. It's just our calculation. We take it as just we may think like that. We may, it's just looking into the total population, working with them with the long years. This estimation has been made. 70 in the 100 persons with intellectual disability, there may be 70 to 80 persons are mild intellectual disabilities. That means in our day-to-day life, we are meeting a lot of people in the outside, in the common population also, there may be mild intellectual disability. They may not have been certified, they may not have been seen every day. But their other activities abilities are better, like social some activities, and they may be doing their independent activities in their personal activities. They may be independent in some of the small transactions. They may be able to do something like in the social interactions of hi, namaste, these activities. So because of that, they may be not be certified, but there may be 60-70% of intellect within the intellectual disability group, they are mild intellectual persons. And then moderate, this may be coming to 10 to 20%. It may very, again, in the 100 intellectual persons, around 10-15 people are moderate intellectual disabilities. What I mean to say here is that, you see, the persons of 12 or 14 years, the ability of 5 to 6 years of performance of activities, as that population is only in the 100 intellectual persons on that, in that only 10 to 15. But the maximum is even the better ability in the 100 intellectual disabilities, the half of the things they can able to do, those are mild intellectual disability. For example, 14 years boy or girl having a performance or a mental age or a doing things, day-to-day activities at the 7 or 8 years of abilities, their level, number is much more in the total intellectual disabilities. And in the intellectual disabilities, another thing is that severe and profound is comparatively very less. Even severe we say 0.5%, and in the total population, but within the intellectual disability, it may be almost less than 2 to 3%, and profound is less than 2%. That means in the 100 intellectual disability, you may come across 2 or 3 persons with profoundly intellectual disabilities. When we say profoundly intellectual disabilities, again I'm repeatedly telling, these persons with profoundly intellectual disabilities, their major issue is that they have a difficulty in all areas, but their number is very less. So 1 or 2 persons we may come across the 100 persons with intellectual disabilities, but training them, you need lot of resources, lot of energy, and lot of materials. If you do a continuous consistent training with a appropriate stimulating materials, definitely you can make their most of the personal activities independent, and you can give a most of the time very interdependent activities. They can do it with their small activities in their later age of the life. That is the way we have to look into that. In the total intellectual disability, if you calculate them, number of males are more than a females. This is another issue. And also the mental intellectual disability, rural areas have more than a urban areas. These are all estimates by different statistics and different research. But now, if you look into that, the rural areas, you can get very less number of people have been been calculated in our sensors, or sometimes it is not given in a proper way, because we are our other weaknesses in the sensors and all not showing exactly what is certified intellectual disabilities are not been made in the all the hook and corner of the country. This is another reason we are not able to get exact statistics in our country. And one third of children attending child psychiatry or child guidance clinics are the intellectual disabilities. But we have more people not getting a certification, not getting any proper intellectual disability certification, and this is the biggest problem. We need a lot of people to be identified. They have to be properly guided, and there is a lot of benefits for them, lot of schemes for them. Government of India is doing a wonderful things for the persons with intellectual disability. For all disability, particularly for intellectual disability, we have so many schemes and benefits. And I would like to say, one third will have identified well by genetic cause. If you see, there are a lot of intellectual disabilities nowadays with the chromosomal analysis, genetic analysis. There will be so many things we can identify, particularly Down syndrome, Fragile syndrome. These are all can be identified before birth if you go for a genetic analysis. And also with the other things like now amniocentesis test, and even sometimes scanning also, people have been the child or fetus can be identified with the what is the child is going to be in future, how the child is born with what type of difficulties. So nowadays when we are thinking about a very healthy normal child, we have to better to think about see that their genetic analysis. It is always better to advisable, but at the same time, the possibilities are like going to test for everything with every person may not be possible. However, there is a chances of identifying a genetic cause. And I would like to give a small tips for the all the my friends here. One thing is that you see the it's not exactly internationally proved cause, but there is a coincidence causes are there. Around 200 coincidence is happening due to this or maybe this. Like that, there are a lot of reasons. One of that is the early age first pregnancy or the late age first pregnancy is also. For example, below 16 or 15 years having a first pregnancy, or above 35 or 40 years having a first pregnancy, no conception before that or that time, that may be having a chance of disability. In that maximum they are doing that Down syndrome or otherwise some intellectual disability. Similarly, the pregnant mother at the first semester, trimester, that means first 3 months or second 3 months, is taking a very heavy dose of drugs or heavy dose of drinks, that means alcohol, or any heavy dose of cigarette smoking or bad smoking or something like tobacco chewing. This may cause, no 100% guaranteed, but there are a lot of linkages or something like a coincidence are happened. People are again saying that this can be this should be avoided, and it must and should be avoiding. It's always good for health. More than that, particularly for having a healthy child and not having any intellectual disability, it is a preventable in these controlling these other issues. And in addition to that, there are a lot of issues. One is mother age is important too. That means above 18 years, below 35 years, having a first child, first conception is always having a healthy child, high chance of getting a good healthy child. Second thing is, it's very important to have a nutritious food and taking care of mother when she is a lady, is a pregnant. In that time, giving a lot of attention, good social and psychological environment is also happy to be a healthy child, and that means there's no much problem in the child's intellectual development. So those type of environment has to be created, those type of nutritious food has to be provided, and similarly, those type of stimulus has to be created. When we say this, in the different international classification, like uh, Diagnostic Statistical Manual 4, it has been in 2000. It has been said like significantly superior intellectual functioning. They have defined in a different way, and also there is a international classification of diseases in 10 volume has been again. This is the same thing is repeated in all these have been accepted in the intellectual disabilities. Even American Association for Intellectual Developmental Disability 2002. It's again they find these are the three major factors in the intellectual disabilities. One is significantly sub-average intellectual functioning, deficits in adaptive behavior, that means conceptual, social, and practical skills, and onset before 18 years. This is the major part when we talk about intellectual disabilities. And intellectual a balanced bio-socio psychosocial cultural perspective is the best way to understand deal with the intellectual disability. Intellectual disability again when we think about different biosocial psycho and social cultural things, there are different way of the people are understanding. So earlier we used to call mental retardation, we used to say some other thing, but now the nomenclature itself has been changed because now the handicap, the word itself is a stigmatized, so the disability has come. Similarly, earlier the subnormal development or inability, imbecile, so many issues are there when we call about intellectual disability, mental retardation, mental deficiency. All this has been changed because now the social system, the cultural system, international, universally has changed. Now the naming has come as a intellectual disability. As I earlier said, there is a IQ which is called, depend on that, they have been classified intellectual disability in four major groups or major levels. So within the 100 intellectual or within the population of intellectual disability, if you group them, you can group in them as a mild, moderate, severe, and profound. Within them, there will be differences, unique features will be having unique problems, but all of them have unique way of learning, unique way of understanding, unique way of teaching things has to be identified. For example, mild intellectual disabilities, if you look into that, you can literacy, they can have learning of up to 6th, 7th, 8th standard, we can perform better. And if you give a consistent training, all the 7th standard examination with a competitive exam, they can write and they can pass, they can do well. Similarly, there are all the self-help skills, that means there are all personal skills or ADL skills. They can do independently without much difficulties if you give a consistent, very planned training. And they will have a training with a proper training, with a proper stimulation, they have a good speech. And semi-skilled work can be taught to them easily by continuous way of training, and they can be made independent earning member if you train from the age of 5, 6, 7, if you start planning for it, and 12, 13, 14, if you give a basic preparatory training, and 14 to 18, if you give a continuous, regular, consistent training with a routine training, then they can do a semi-skilled work independently and with a total confidence, and they can earn money, and it will be good for our persons with intellectual disability, which is the highest number. 70% of intellectual disabilities are mild intellectual disabilities. If you train them, they can do an extraordinary performance in their all day-to-day life. Similarly, moderate intellectual disabilities, which is again having a 15 to 20% of total population of intellectual disability. Their literacy is 1 mark. They may not able to do much of as mild persons with intellectual disability do. They may be able to read up till 3rd standard, 4th standard, maximum 5th or 6th standard literacy, writing, reading, arithmetic, all that they may be able to perform. But for that, again, consistent, continuous training is important, and stimulating them with a play method, with a proper training, that is very essential. We have to do it in a very planned manner, and day-to-day classrooms activities has to be well planned, well equipped, and their peer group learning will be always helpful for all the intellectual disability, particularly mild and moderate, learn a lot from their peer group. And self-help skills, if you train them, definitely moderate persons also can do like a mild person with intellectual disability. But only thing is, again, the home stimulation on self-help skills, and similarly the same repetition with the teachers with some model demonstrations, and also making the child once in a while practice in the school as well as in the outside. It will help the moderate person with intellectual disability to do the activities very well. Domestic speech. That means within the family, within the parents and friends, or within their home, so they definitely speak well. They can have a good speech. But when it comes to outsiders, say foreigners or strange persons, they have a difficulties. For that, they need a lot of training, lot of exposure. That is the problem. They may not able to be work independently in all the time. They may be able to work in self shop, or sometimes with some under supervision work. They may be doing a lot of activities they can perform, but they need lot of training. They need lot of support. They need compared to mild mental intellectual disabilities, moderate needs more support than the mild. And unskilled work like monotonous work, for example, like in the postman putting a stamp on all the papers, that type of work, or something like joining two thread and needle, or something like that, or something like a lid and a bottle, putting them. These type of one monotonous work they can do, or putting paper one under, slacking on that, stalling on that. That can be they do. They cannot do a things of taking something, folding in correctly, and cutting in correctly, and pasting in correctly. This type of little more skilled work may be difficult. But if you want to do that, then you have to train in the very young age and consistently practice it, and without fail make it to do it. But it is very hard for them. So semi-skilled work or unskilled work, they may be able to learn, and they can do it in a under supervision very well. They can also earn their livelihood and live independent life if you support them. If you give a little more stimulative, consistent training, they can definitely do that. And when come to severe intellectual disability, they need most of the time some assistance, some support, because their percentage is very less. If you have 100 intellectual disability, the severe is less than a 5%. Within the 100 intellectual disabilities, only 2 or 3 or 5 maximum intellectual disability severe IQ will be there. That is below 34 IQ. Those persons need all the time some support for even their self-help activities. That means dressing themselves or grooming themselves. This also needs some support. Minimum their speech also, they may not able to make a sentence and talk. They may not able to express fully with a story type of thing. They may be tell 1 or 2 words, 3 words maximum, and small sentences of 5 words or 3 words or 4 words, not a bigger sentences, not a long speech. These are all difficult for them, and they need a lot of time assistance and support. When it comes to profoundly intellectual disability, that means the below IQ of 20, which is a 0.2% or sorry 0.1%, sorry 1% or 0.5. That means in the 100% intellectual disability, there may be 1% with a profoundly retarded or profoundly intellectual disability. That means they have a problem in all areas. They have a very difficult things to do. They need a always supported environment, supported training. They need for support for a self-help skills. They need support for their expression. They need some. They have to be with somebody, known persons, and their carer should be have a long time of relations with them. They can do a better life for them. They will most of the time they will be dependent on some or other things. Still, with a proper stimulation and training, I will very strongly say that they are also made to a useful person in the society by doing something monotonous work. If you train them, if you lead them, if you help them to do the things in a starting in the younger age and training them regularly, consistently, then you can see some improvement even with the profoundly intellectual disability. For example, I can tell you there is a boy who was now moving in the 4 legs, still cannot stand, but in the railway group people have made him to put a pasting of paper, just putting a gum only, nothing else in the paper, and pasting by somebody else. That activities itself take a course of papers he is doing per day, thousand papers he is doing and giving. That itself is an activity for him, and he will be very happy, and he can also get some money. He's also getting some money, so he's earning. So profoundly person with intellectual disabilities also can do that. So there are a lot of causes. I'm not going to talk much about causes. I already told about it. So now I'll just say that again, these areas are all we will be them. Being always, I will try to say that some love one, some love two, some love, that is you. So you all has to see that persons with disabilities always require lot of love, lot of good friendship, good affection for them. They will do a good life in their future. We all work together. Thank you for silent listening. I hope lot of questions you may be having. I would like to say that if you have any questions, anything, please for your all the future studies and all, from the side of our NIPID, we have a internet connections. We have whoever having a question, they can definitely write to our emails and our websites. And we in our website, or all the NMH publications are there. In the publications, all the intellectual disability training and each age wise, problem wise, has been explained in different manuals, different books. If you want to see the understanding of disability, intellectual disability, very old manuals, like even a village manual for mental retardation, a village rehabilitation workers manual, multi-purpose rehabilitation workers manual, psychologist manuals. Similarly, there are thousand type of other research publications are there, but NIMH publications are all are Indian version, and it's all made it in a very easy way to understand. Anybody can browse it and read it, and then you will be able to understand the exactly what is the reason, what is the activity can be tried and given, how we can try. For example, moving forward is one of the best books for the parents. Parents can get lot of information for their child training, as well as getting different schemes and benefits. Similarly, our Ministry of Social Empowerment has a website. In that, our Disability Affairs website, where the Disability Affairs website having all the facilities, schemes, everything details is there. Even the DDR scheme, even the disability UDID card scheme, and railway-related benefits and tax benefits. Everything is given in the website. Similarly, we have another National Trust for Welfare of Autism, Cerebral Palsy, Mental Retardation, and Multiple Disability. In that, there are 9 schemes are there. All these schemes are very useful and beneficial to the persons with all the disabilities, particularly intellectual disabilities, when we think about the schemes and benefits. So these are the benefits we can credit to the people who are affected, who are getting these difficulties. By that, we can support them by showing the way of some benefits and schemes. They will be able to do their life easy and like others. Thank you one and all.